doing the math here, this is your 11th season. Does it feel like 11 seasons, or does it not feel like 11 seasons?
Well, it feels like 11 seasons. You look back and you look at each individual season in your head, and you kind of think about the things you go through, and to be kind of back at this point where we feel like we can make a move here, you feel pretty fortunate.
Did you think when you came back, I should say, how many years you'd go here, or did you?
Well, you're replacing a guy that's been there 25 years,
right.
so right away you're like, man, no way you're going to be able to do something of that nature. But each year, I always asked him. I said, why didn't you invest and get like a vacation spot somewhere else? He goes, well, I always thought I would get fired at the end of that year. Wow. He goes, and so
Gene kind of coached for the fear then.
No question. He's just. When you're a high school coach, you're a junior college coach, you become an assistant with Eddie Sutton at Arkansas. It's in the late 70s, early 80s. It's not like it is now. You better perform, you better get it done. There's not quite the pressure because it's not quite the money, or even close to the money.
Right.
But it's one of those situations where it built that fear to where, I don't want to get fired by my school board. I don't want to get let go. You just work and you work and you work. And that was kind of that mentality. It's kind of Bruce Weber had that mentality. Now we have that mentality here. And it's just because there's so many good schools in the Big Ten. There's so many good schools across the country. The competition's so tough that, you better be ready to fight, and you better be ready to be thinking about your job and trying to do everything in your power to keep it.
21-13 though last year. That'll kind of rejuvenate you a little bit, won't it?
Yeah, well, especially in our non-conference. I think we found out who we were. We had a couple good wins, NC State, BYU, and our guys showed a lot of substance, and I thought we played really well in the defensive end in league play.
What didn't go right in the leaner years here? Right. What is going right now?
Well, I would say the leadership. Raphael Davis has been a big part of our turnaround. Yep. I don't think he felt very comfortable starting off here, kind of learning the system, trying to get that figured out. When you have a lot of turnover in programs, like more programs have it now, you have to have some mainstays. You have to have some guys that stay that are older, and we were young for a couple years. And I always said you can be young, you don't have to act young. And that hurt us. We would get into games. It wasn't like we weren't competitive. And the one thing I thought was really good, and I did it publicly, was just letting those guys know, this is on me. This isn't on you guys. I got to get you better. I got to get you to understand. I got to get you to change, whatever it is for each individual guy. Right. And we had some additions and we had some subtractions, and that really helped us. Our maturity for our freshman class last year was off the charts. Those guys were great. And they really did some good things stepping in that normally young guys don't do right away.
Some of that's recruiting, though, too, right? Maybe a different kid. Pat yourself on the back. That's right.
Well, I wouldn't say recruiting in terms of getting a 5-star guy, not that type of recruit. It was more recruiting of understanding what fits for our staff, what fits for our school. And that was more important.
You've evolved a little bit on that, have you not?
Yes, no question. I mean, you have to be able to get guys that are good enough, that are talented enough. But if you're not going to be quite as talented, you can still be highly skilled. Right. You can still make your free throws. You can still make open shots.
So much of basketball now, run and gun. There are these positionless offenses out there.
Right.
You have not gone that direction.
Right.
Why?
I think it's best to go the direction of quality. And we've been positionless before. 3 years ago when Robbie Hummel, last year after Eachwan and Jawan left, we'd play him at the center sometimes.
Right.
And we'd give people fits. And they couldn't guard us, but we couldn't get a rebound either. And so, you gotta flip-flop it. Last year with Indiana, when Indiana went small with Troy Williams, everybody would worry about it. But, that caused us the most problems. That was really, really hard on us to be able to handle something like that. So people don't quite understand. You might get hit on the glass a little bit, but then you got to flip it and make them pay on the other end. So we've just went with quality and kind of finding the right guys, getting the right guys. And sometimes how you set out to do something and your philosophy, it's going to be perfect, but you got to sign them. You got to get them too. Sometimes you got to go to the next guy, and then you have to be able to tweak around with that. But we've gotten some really good shooters. We got really good size, obviously. So we're hoping from an offensive standpoint that combination is really going to be good for us.
Let me name a couple guys and maybe an award or two. Tell me what you want to see from them this season. Let's begin with the senior, Raphael Davis.
Just be a great leader. Just continue to do what he's done for us. Just be better.
A.J. Hammonds.
Be consistent. Play hard at both ends.
On the other side, Isaac Haas.
Keep the game simple. Quit dribbling.
Wait, that goes for any big man.
Yeah.
Don't dribble.
So no, Isaac's been great. Just rebounding out of his area. Just be more demanding of himself. He's got a lot of ability, a lot of potential.
How about Caleb Swanigan?
Continue to work hard. He's the hardest working young guy we've had here. It's not even close. It's not even close. Just continue to lead by example.
And you call him Biggie?
Call him Biggie.
Can we all call him Biggie? Is that okay? Is that the high school thing, or is that?
That's the only thing I've ever called him. So.
Is that right? Caleb, you don't call him Caleb?
I don't call him Caleb, no.
Lastly, last year you had the graduate transfer in John Hopkins, who was tremendous. This year you've got Johnny Hill from Texas Arlington. What can he contribute here?
Well, I think a lot of the same things. I think it's hard to be older, be experienced, but have so much inexperience in a program. I think that's a hard attribute. I think Octius would handle some things differently now in his second year with this, but
sure.
Can't play college basketball forever. But no, I think he can do a lot of the same things. Just get us an offense, use his athleticism to drive the basketball, continue to be a hawk on defense.
Last thing, it wasn't that long ago when the state didn't have anybody in the tournament.
Right.
Now you look at it this year, top 25, you guys obviously, Notre Dame, Butler, IU. How much fun is this going to be?
It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously we play all those schools except Notre Dame, and we played them last year, and they crushed us, and Mike's done an unbelievable job. But I think it's across the board, though. It's more than just us, too. I think things get cyclical.
Yeah.
Rarely ever where everybody's in and everybody's out, but we've seen that. But no, our state's been great, and the talent in our state's been great.
Here's a look at the next 6 for Purdue. A couple games in Connecticut next weekend, part of the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament. Pittsburgh will be their opponent for the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And don't forget the Crossroads Classic. Purdue will get Butler. That game will be here on December 19th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Let's take